Did you know that faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the Word of Yah? My goal is to bless you with the Word. Listen to it while you're driving. Listen to it while you're walking along the way. Listen to it when you lay down at night. Listen to the Word.
John chapter 13 verses 1 through 19, followed by Luke chapter 16 verses 1 through 13. It was just before the festival of Pesach, and Yahawashi knew that the time had come for him to pass from this world to the Father. Having loved his own people in the world, he loved them to the end. They were at supper, and the adversary had already put the desires to betray him into the heart of Yehoiada ben Shimeon from Kiryat. Yahawashi was aware that the Father had put everything in his power, and that he had come from the Most High and was returning to the Most High. So he rose from the table, removed his outer garments, and wrapped a towel around his waist. Then he poured some water into a basin and began to wash the feet of the talmidim and wipe them off with the towel wrapped around him. He came to Shimeon Kepha, who said to him, "Master, you are washing my feet?" Yahawashi answered him, "You do not understand yet what I am doing, but in time you will understand." "No," said Kepha, "you will never wash my feet." Yahawashi answered him, "If I don't wash you, you have no share with me." "Master," Shimeon Kepha replied, "not only my feet, but my hands and head too." Yahawashi said to him, "A man who has had a bath doesn't need to wash except his feet. His body is already clean. And you people are clean, but not all of you." He knew who was betraying him. This is why he said, "Not all of you are clean." After he had washed their feet, taken back his clothes, and returned to the table, he said to them, "Do you understand what I have done to you? You call me Rabbi and Master, and you are right, because I am. Now if I, the Master and Rabbi, have washed your feet, you also should wash each other's feet. For I have set you an example so that you may do as I have done to you. Yes, indeed, I tell you, a slave is not greater than his master, nor is an emissary greater than the one who sent him. If you know these things, you will be blessed if you do them." I'm not talking to all of you. I know which ones I have chosen. But the words of the Tanakh must be fulfilled that say, "The one eating my bread has turned against me." I'm telling you now, before it happens, so that when it does happen, you may believe that I am who I say I am. Luke chapter 16, verse 1 through 13. Speaking to the talmidim, Yahawashi said, "There was a wealthy man who employed a general manager. Charges were brought to him that his manager was squandering his resources. So he summoned him and asked him, 'What is this I hear about you? Turn in your accounts, for you can no longer be manager.' 'What am I to do?' said the manager to himself. 'My boss is firing me. I'm not strong enough to dig ditches, and I'm ashamed to go begging. Aha! I know what I'll do. Something that will make people welcome me into their homes after I've lost my job here.' So, after making appointments with each of his employer's debtors, he said to the first, 'How much do you owe my boss?' 800 gallons of olive oil,' he replied. 'Take your note back,' he told him. 'Now quickly, sit down and write one for 400. To the next he said, 'And you, how much do you owe?' 1,000 bushels of wheat,' he replied. 'Take your note back and write one for 800. And the employer of this dishonest manager applauded him for acting so shrewdly. For the worldly have more sechel than those who have received the light in dealing with their own kind of people. Now, what I say to you is this: use worldly wealth to make friends for yourselves, so that when it gives out, you may be welcomed into the eternal home. Someone who is trustworthy in a small matter is also trustworthy in large ones, and someone who is dishonest in a small matter is also dishonest in large ones. So, if you haven't been trustworthy in handling worldly wealth, who is going to trust you with the real thing? And if you haven't been trustworthy with what belongs to someone else, who will give you what ought to belong to you? No servant can be slave to two masters, for he will either hate the first and love the second, or scorn the second and be loyal to the first. You can't be a slave to both the Most High and money.